We have this astounding history, this heritage. You know, as I have traveled around this state for many years, meeting amazing people in churches and diners and town picnics, one of their consistent messages was this feeling that maybe our best days are behind us, that economic security, let alone prosperity, is a thing of the past, that maybe we won't, or that we can't leave this place better than we found it. And even while they were sending me that message, there was a context to it. They were asking me to help them do something about it. And that tells me the true grit that is Connecticut, that can-do spirit of innovation is still alive and ready to engage in the fight for a better future for everyone. Because as our... Thank you. Anytime somebody's hooping and it's not my family, that's a good time. Because, as our own Harriet Beecher Stowe said, and she knew a thing or two about adversity, when you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, till it seems as though you could not hang on a minute longer, never give up. For that is just the place and the time the tide will turn. I can sense it. It is our time. Never give up. The tide will turn. It's not just the story of my life, it's the story of Connecticut. So if you believe, like I do, that Connecticut's best days are ahead, I hope you will join me in what must be a shared emerging movement for rational, honest, achievable change. A movement that restores economic vitality, creates jobs, and returns to fiscal solvency. We will put in place an economic development strategy that makes sense for the 21st century economy, aggressively competing with other states and nations for lucrative biotech, nanotech, fuel cell technology, and stem cell research jobs. We will join Connecticut to the energy economy, attracting companies that reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. We will aggressively develop our 3 deep water ports to spark commercial activity and to decrease our reliance on heavy trucking and the congestion that it brings to our highways. We will make Bradley International Airport an independent entity, freeing it to better grow its passenger base. Cities and towns will have a partner in Hartford, and we will marshal all of our resources, the resources of state government, to help local projects with an economic impact. You know, I've been on the municipal side of this equation, and I know firsthand how important a partnership could be. We will work to remove the barriers that keep us from attracting employers by lowering the highest energy costs in the nation, lowering health care costs, and reforming our regulatory system to protect the public while building our economy. I also hope you will join me in a movement to once and for all resolve our out-of-control budget crisis and retire gimmicks and one-time solutions. We must instead adopt a responsible, tell-it-like-it-is approach to balancing and managing our budget, and treat it just like any company treats a budget, with generally accepted accounting principles commonly known as GAAP. Thank you. Honestly, I didn't know that there were that many accountants serving in the legislature. That's why, minutes before I stepped into this chamber to give this speech, I signed an executive order which begins the process of requiring the state to keep its books according to GAAP principles. We require every city and town in the state to do it, and now we'll require the state to do it. We will make state government make sense to serve the people better, to shorten the distance between what they need and when they get it. And in the coming weeks and months, you will hear a lot about reducing the size of government, from the size of my own office to the number of state agencies. And not just cutting for cutting's sake, but reconceiving government so that better decisions are made and implemented faster. And as we go through this together, I believe it is imperative that we not lose sight of who we are and who we have always been. Not unlike when our own beloved Governor Ella Grasso said during her inaugural address in this very room, we must provide government that is efficient, that is compassionate, that is humane. But we will fulfill that role mindful of the lives that are touched by every program, aware of our heritage and our responsibilities to the people. To get there together is going to take courage, conviction, and shared sacrifice. I believe we have the courage. I believe we have the conviction. After all, we're not good at being last in anything. And I believe in our hearts we are willing to make sacrifice if we understand where we are going, what's at stake, and that shared sacrifice is really shared, that there is a fairness factor applied. But this is not sacrifice without payoff. This is sacrifice with a purpose. This is the kind of sacrifice I think my mother was talking about that will leave the world a better place for our having been here. It is a time of historic proportions when we as a people must ask ourselves who we collectively want to be and what separates us as a people. Do we believe in every woman, child, and man for themselves? Or do we believe, as President Kennedy did, that a rising tide floats all boats? Do we believe that we can be a mighty economic force? Do we believe in the education of our children? Do we believe in the social safety net for our most vulnerable citizens, and that it should be a hand up instead of a handout? It's going to be tough to finally address our most intractable problems while being true to ourselves. But the question is not whether it can be done. We already know we can from our history. And I know from personal experience that we can. I remember when we transformed Stamford, which was an ailing industrial city, and made it a world-class financial center, sparking an economic, cultural, and environmental renaissance that gained national attention. The question is whether we want to do it. I want to do it. I hope you do too, and we will together. In the coming weeks, my administration will be developing detailed proposals to set and fund priorities for the state, which I will outline in my budget address to the legislature later next month. We clearly face big problems, and in my estimation, big problems call for a big table. I will be meeting with the legislature, labor leaders, economic advisors, private industry, and the not-for-profit sector, so that we have a well-rounded perspective on the best solutions to our problems. And then I will begin working with the legislature to adopt a budget. With your help and a shared sense of responsibility and sacrifice, we will realize shared prosperity for all. Future generations will look back on this particular crossroads of crisis and opportunity and say that we rallied, that we reached deep, we chose well to leave this great state better than we found it. After all, we know as the people of Connecticut, it is in our nature to do so. I will look forward to serving the people of Connecticut with you. May God bless you. May God bless the great state of Connecticut. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you.